farmers and traders. Over 60 billion gratuity arrears to retired civil servants cleared. Acquisition of brand new aircraft for Umo Air. Advancement of work on Ibom Deep Seaport. Donation of 150 units of 2-bedroom flats to 150 civil servants. Advancement of work on Ibom Tropicana hotels and 5,000-seater international conference center. Primary healthcare renaissance. Launch of state health insurance scheme and quick response statewide ambulance services. Establishment of the Center for the Elderly. Construction of a 200-bed hospital within the state medical corridor. These and more are the huge strides of Governor Umo Eno in less than 2 years. They are realities because of your tax. Much more can be achieved if only you continue to pay your tax. Have you paid your tax? This message is courtesy McCrae Trust International Limited for the Akwa Ibom State Internal Revenue Service. Hello, thank you for joining us. It's 2 minutes past 4, and it's our pleasure to welcome you to the 6th day of this series. Governor Umo Eno at 29 guests, 29 days. It's put together by Bush House, Nigeria, in collaboration with the Ministry of Information, Akwa Ibom State, and it's on the joint service of the Akwa Ibom Broadcasting Corporation's radio, that's 90.5 FM, and AKBC TV, channel 45. Uyo. Okay, so today on the program, as it is in our character since we started, on Monday, today, as I said, is the 6th day, we're going to be having two faces to this edition of the show, and especially for those who are just joining us for the first time, this is a very bold and intentional attempt by Bush House Nigeria in collaboration with the Ministry of Information to take stock of the last almost 2 years of the Umo Eno administration. It's only for the purposes of for the purpose of a reminder for you to know that this government came into power on the 29th of May 2023, and so on the 29th of this month it's going to be 2 years in office. In other words, it would have been halfway into its first tenure, and so it's only to be expected that we stop once in a while, and there's no better time to stop and take stock than on its second anniversary. Today on the program, we're being joined by a group of persons who were at the forefront of campaigning for the governor in 2023. They came together from the 369 political wards of Akwa Ibom State under the aegis of the Akwa Ibom State Ward Leaders Union. And it was one group that shook the political foundation of this state throughout the electioneering. And as I said, it's almost 2 years since the man that they campaigned for has been calling the shots as the governor of Akwa Ibom State. And there's any set of persons that are in a very good position to also join us in this inventory adventure. It is those from the Akwa Ibom State Ward Leaders Union. Today, joining me on the show, the trial, is a trial for the former international president of Mbogong Paraguay Bibio. This one has been president and president and president. I call him double presido, because he's former international president of Mbogong Paraguay Bibio that I am a member of. And also a former international president, if there is that toga assigned to the office, also held, former president. Maybe I should stick to what I said earlier. Former international president of the University Uyo Alumni Association, because I'm tempted to believe that some members of the alumni are found even outside the shores of this country. My guest has been so many good things in the past. A former senior staffer of the Coca-Cola company, a former student activist, and he is the chairman, contact and mobilization at the union. My pleasure to be joined by Akparawa Nse Ube. President,
thank you very much.
So good to have you. Welcome to the
Thank
program. All right, so also joining us, and let me take the format in which they're seated. Also joining us is Evangelist Mary Basi Onungene. I got that right? Onungene. She should correct me now. Maybe there are two entries to the name. You never can tell. Okay, Onungene, right? That's the correct pronunciation.
That's right.
Okay, I know her more as a party woman, and when she walked in here, I said, party, and there's a question she asked me. I won't share it on air. It's our pleasure to have you on the show. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Okay, we also have joining us Elder Idare Seretete. Is a member of the union all the way from a Etemepo local government area. Elder, you're welcome.
Thank you.
All right, so let me announce that today we have decided to, there's this argument as to when we are on air, who has greater powers, who is more superior? Is it the boss or the anchor? Because on air, whereas I'm the anchor, I can decide to banish the boss, and it's not part of the program. Like today, I just decided to banish him to where the panelists are seated. So it's my pleasure to announce that.
Sure.
We have in the house Akparawa Michael Bush, the president at large, Bush House Nigeria, joining us on the on this side of the studio. And this is pretty instructive, because there are certain questions I'm going to be firing on members of his team that he shouldn't be a part of, so that whatever happens, we will not say that there were some kind of compromises. So I'll be the one to decide when he talks or when he speaks. If I tell him not to, he won't. With our pleasure to be joined by Akparawa Michael Bush. Thank you for joining us. Okay, so also we have other three persons who constitute the panelists. We have our in-house translator-in-chief, Obong Akparawa, Sylvanus Akpan. Thank you, Akparawa, for joining us. And then Umo Eno, Francis, no? I missed that. Juliet Richard. My apologies.
She looks like a Eno.
Yes. You're welcome to the show.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. And then we have Chukwu Agu, who is of the Michael Bush Mentoring Academy. He's been a regular first since we started. Agu, you're welcome to the show. Okay, so we go for a quick commercial break. When we're back from that break, we get selling with members, the shakers and movers, if you like, of the Akwa Ibom State Ward Leaders Union. My name is Itoro Columba. I welcome you to this show. Return with us in a jiffy.
Over 200 units of compassionate homes, hundreds of kilometers of roads covering all local government areas, over 10,000 entrepreneurial equipment and tools to MSMEs, 5 billion naira worth of grants to farmers and traders, over 60 billion gratuity arrears to retired civil servants cleared, acquisition of brand new aircraft for Umo Air, advancement of work on Ibom Deep Seaport, donation of 150 units of 2-bedroom flats to 150 civil servants, advancement of work on Ibom Tropicana hotels and 5,000-seater international conference center, primary health care renaissance, launch of state health insurance scheme and quick response statewide ambulance services, establishment of the center for the elderly, construction of a 200-bed hospital within the state medical corridor. These and more are the huge strides of Governor Umo Eno in less than 2 years. They are realities because of your tax. Much more can be achieved if only you continue to pay your tax. Have you paid your tax? This message is courtesy Macrae Trust International Limited for the Akwa Ibom State Internal Revenue Service.
This is our home.
where we all belong. The place where life is beautiful, the peaceful and peace and harmony. Yeah.
Okay, so you're welcome back. It's Governor Umo Eno had 29 guests, 29 days, and on this 6th edition, the first part of this 6th edition of the program, we're being joined by the 3 members of the Akwa Ibom State Ward Leaders Union that I earlier introduced. And then our focus on this first part of the show that we have the 3 of them would be in what ways has Governor Umo Eno's performance enthralled his 2029 electoral food soldiers. Okay, 2023 rather. Electoral food soldiers. I did say that, as I said at the research of this program, that if there's any set of persons that can thumb their chest and claim ownership of the governor, and as measured by the extent to which they devoted themselves in campaigning for him, it should be the Akwa Ibom State Ward Leaders Union. So we're here to talk about how excited they have been over the last 2 years about the governor in terms of his performance and in terms of even the reward system. So let me start with the international presidents. Once again, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
All right, so let's talk about the formative years of the union. What even motivated, what led to the formation of the Akwa Ibom State Ward Leaders Union? More so when you look at the fact that as at 2022 building up to 2023, we had an armada of socio-political groups that were campaigning for the governor. What would have thought that the like of Akbarawa Seube would have elected to join one of them rather than team up with Akbarawa Michael Bush to float to the Akwa Ibom State Ward Leaders Union? So what led to the formation of this union?
Thank you very much. In every political situation there must be some strategies on how to go about winning. And you may have all the crowds, you may have all the...
Okay, so we're beginning to have the pictures, beautiful pictures. This must be some strategics. Very first day. Okay.
Even before inauguration.
Fantastic. So this is the very first day when you had some strategic sessions, heralding the formation of the union. Okay, go ahead.
Like I was saying, you may have all the money and you may have all the people around you, but you don't have the strategy in winning elections, you may stand to lose. And at the formative stage, you know that politics is done at the wards, and most of the people actually do not take a look at the role of ward leaders in the past. The leaders were there, but this time there was a need because of how turbulent Umo Eno's situation was. There was a need for the union to come together as a team, for people to be taking stock of what is happening at the grassroots. 369 wards, 369 leaders, and these are leaders that control followers. We didn't just stop at the leadership at the ward. We also look at other foot soldiers, and we call them the canvassers. And having come together as a team, we take stocks of different political scenarios in different locations, and when we take stock of it, there are some areas that we must say, okay, let the campaign team deploy resources to those areas. Some areas were more favorable, some areas were more turbulent, and some others. So those are the things that we put together to actually help the union to actualize the success of the government in the elections.
Fantastic. Okay, so Evangelist Mary Onungene. I hope I got it better this time. Yes. Okay, so as I said, when you walked in, I was even pleasantly surprised to identify with you with the union, because anywhere I see you, I identify you more with the State Executive Committee of the People's Democratic Party. I don't know if you made a second term, but in the immediate past, you were there. But I'd like to find out from you. So what motivated you
you were already in the party, so that would have sufficed. If anybody would ask you what's your contribution, you tell such a person that you're in the party. Of course, you were at the forefront of campaigning for the governor. But here you were. There you were. Beyond being a member of the State Executive Council of Committee of the party, you also elected to join the union. Why? What stood the union out for you at that time?
Thank you very much, the chair, as I used to call you. What motivated me to join the union? One, all the members of the union, all PDP members, are all PDP members.
Are you very short as we speak?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course. I can see it anywhere. They are all PDP intact, from number 1 to the top. Our God to the end, to the last, this person. PDP. And so, as a PDP, staunch PDP member, I think I should belong. Okay. And what actually, and our state chairman motivated, because he had a talk with us and told us of this union, that he's interested. Is part and parcel of whatever is going on in the union. And so, as a party executive, party member, I think it's a good deal. I felt it was, and when the first day I stepped into I joined the meeting, I realized that those faces I've not seen for a long while, who've been working for the party, who were like, they've been sidelined, they were back home, no hope to return, they didn't have no platform to rest on. I saw those faces and I interacted with them. They will come, Michael Bush, no. They say good. They will what? Can you don't bring it on there? We are the people that I think I'm free to.
Yeah, go ahead. Yes. Go ahead.
But they were the people who started PDP, who brought PDP in, but some of them, PDP was formed, the structure was formed
in their home,
in their parlor. And so at the point, I found out that the new breed took over the old system and nobody remembers them. And so I think when I saw those faces and their interactions and the joy of coming back on board, I felt relaxed, comfortable to work. Coupled with the kind of leader that we have. Okay. The proactive leader.
Fantastic. Elder Itete, you are from Itemekpo, and you look like someone who is still very active in politics. And so I don't know if this scenario I'm about to paint befits you, but she has hinted on something that's very germane. And it's typical of politics. Oftentimes, apparently because there are so many players in the field, oftentimes there are people who are forgotten, who are left behind, who are abandoned, some are even blackmailed out of the system and all of that. Talk to us about how much of a game changer it was for your union to deliberately shop for those that were neglected, and how easy was it for you to be able to bring them back? Because in politics there are some people who could be so hardened. Maybe they were humiliated, they were vilified, they were blackmailed, and it got to a point they said, to hell with them. I'm no longer interested. So how much of effort did it take you to be able to woo those people back into the mainstream, to the extent of them accepting to join the campaign trend for the governor?
Yeah, we were very fortunate to have a leader in the person of Michael Bush, where a lot of people believes in him.
Absolutely.
So it wasn't very difficult for us to convince the downtrodden, because a lot of people were sidelined, like you said. And when this development come up and then look at the leadership, personally, I went to my leader, a political leader of Emmanuel Noiden, and asked him about it. He said, you can join. So with that, we were able to coordinate people, those people that were forgotten. They were not given any appointment, they were not, so the people relaxed and they were not interested. Many of them weren't interested, and they were looking at a way which they can maybe join another party to go and see whether there will be a good luck over there. But fortunately, leadership matters, like I said earlier.
I can see some big faces. That's a Memedogo. That's the current commissioner for housing, and that's the former SSG. Obama and Grace Sekong. I'm just relishing some of the big faces I've seen here. So on the front row, you see the man we interviewed yesterday. That's the Honorable Commissioner, Ministry of Housing, political leader of it too. To the other end is Obong and Memedogo from Esreket. That's the former secretary to the state government, as a former chairman of the Synodum Local Government Council. These are big faces, so go ahead. I mean, we can't help but continue intermittently to appreciate the beautiful pictures we're seeing on the screen.
Yes, it's beautiful. All those, in fact, 70% of all those you see, whether they're old or young, see a character in this man.
Which man?
Michael Bush.
Oh. Okay, you need to really mention his name, because I've banished him somewhere.
No.
When he said this man, let them not mistake me for him or him for me.
A lot of people have confidence in him, and he has not disappointed anybody before. I think that is where the confidence has come in.
Okay. Yeah, talking about confidence, Akparawa Nseube, I know your relationship with Akparawa Michael Bush to date back to time. I doubt if we can really place when it all started. He believed so much in you and vice versa. But I'm beginning to wonder how it is like a recurring decimal. I doubt if there's anywhere you go and wherever that name is mentioned, it doesn't resonate with so many people. But for him to have been able to win the heart of the shakers and movers of the politics of the state is something that I don't quite I can't quite place my hands on. How did he do it? Is a popular person in the media space, popular person in the society, but did that also transcend to the political base, to the extent that, young as he is, the like of Professor Etieben, the like of Parawa Fangide could willingly accept to follow him as their leader?
Like I said initially, politics is a game of strategy, and it's when you want to lead, you first of all must serve. And Mike did not see himself as the man at the head. He had to bring people who are quite experienced to be part of his team. He dedicated responsibilities. Like I am the director of contact and mobilization, my duty is to make sure that at every point in time I put him on his toes, telling him we need to visit here, we need to meet this person, we need to go here, we need to send this report to the governor, we need to do this. My inputs. And we have people like Barrister Emmanuel Mana, Director of Legal Affairs and all of that. So he had a strong team, a team that surrounds him, that give him input from time to time on how to manage the union. And when you see his team, you know that Mike is not alone. A king that is there at the head, delegated duties and all of that, and that is what has been the pivot of how the union took off.
Fantastic. Okay, so Evangelist, let me talk to you about funding. Granted, most of those who are members of the union are financially stable, but there is a popular simile. Whenever you want to look at what is costly, what comes to mind is election. Oftentimes we hear as costly as election. So sometimes, no matter how much you think you have, you can never truly claim you have enough to be able to fund a campaign in a state like Akwa Ibom. I like to find out from you, because I can remember it's not as if the Akwa Ibom State Ward Leaders Union came into existence at the very wee stage of the campaigns. It took a few months after a whole lot of other groups had been formed, and perhaps after the governor the governorship candidate as he then was must have pitched tent with some of them when you emerged. But I'd like you to talk to me about how you raise money to do the kind of impactful and very aggressive campaigns that you did. Are you sure, as we speak, you are not indebted in the course of having done the campaigns? Are you sure he didn't borrow money somewhere to do these campaigns for the governor?
That's a very
technical question.
Technical question.
if you get into trouble, the former international president will
I want to. I will, if I say I don't have a word to say there, then I'm not being true to myself.
Absolutely.
Because I've been following up the events and activities
of the union.
There's no step we take that does not involve money. And looking at the availability of funds that were used to run the affairs of the union throughout the campaign, we go out with the governor, we come back, we meetings here and there. It takes a great heart. Like my brother, the president just said, it takes somebody like Michael Bush and the character he has in him, this spirit of accommodation, not, there's a way there's what we call use and dumb. He does not believe in that. His relationship with the people, the technical people, like presidents of the former president of Mbong Parawa, the contact and mobilization, he did a great job there. Linking up the union, and then at the same time we task ourselves. At the initial stage, we knew how we came. We task ourselves.
Very beautiful pictures we're seeing here. And we'll talk about your choice of white, as a uniform. Go ahead. But I'm just enjoying the pictures I'm seeing on the screen.
The bold faces that you see. We come, we talk to ourselves. They said we just have to devise a means of financing ourselves. We don't have to relent on outside our terrain.
Okay.
First of all, we must, so that we can make meaning. When you go to ask them, we say, they've come a long way. We task ourselves. Initially, you have to bring this, I can do this, I will give this, I will give that. From people, from the both faces that you see. And
so those contributions were just enough for you to run the show. As we speak, are you sure you're not indebted?
That's my
okay, direct, because I'm sure much of the work was on his table, so he should be in a better position.
Yes.
Elder, I still come back to you, but let's also contribute to that question. Because you did so much, and you wouldn't have done that much without money. And no matter how much these people you brought together love the governor, I'm tempted to believe that there's a limit to which they were ready to bring out their personal funds, more so when the demands were far overwhelming. So talk to us, Director Contact and Mobilization. So oftentimes, I'm a de facto, is that the right way to say? I'm a de facto member of the union. So oftentimes I see what you do whenever there are contributions, so you are the one that that rallies around to ensure it happens. So talk to me, are you sure you're not indebted in the course of what you did for the government?
Well, I must be quite frank, running an organization may look quite easy, but it's quite tasking. And considering the caliber of people that you have in the union, and also considering the programs that we run from time to time, there's no how you will not lay hands on some. We have some quality members that sometimes say, okay, take this, when there's money you return, and all of that. And we are not going to come and do an account on the media. Okay. You can see that even from the governor. The governor is a world leader.
Absolutely.
The governor is a world leader, and we have some commissioners who are world leaders and all of that. So once in a while, they throw in their support. Oh, gentlemen, use this, and when there's money, will recover and all of that. So
all right.
It's a good thing that we've been doing.
All right. So reconciling the account is work in progress.
Oh, sure.
All right. So Elder Itete, let me, before we even get to talk about our enthralled, you've been about the activities of this governor that you sacrificed so much for, 2 years since he came into office. Let's even establish. Are you sure that if it was some other person, I'd like you to establish what really attracted the quality of leaders that we had in accepting there were options. I mean, we had a very viable opposition, so it would have been possible for some of these leaders to have said we were pitching our tent with the candidate of another political party. So what stood Pastor Umo Eno out that made this number and quality of leaders from across the different wards of Akwa Ibom to say, hey, we are rooting for Governor Umo Eno? And we are rooting for Pastor Umo Eno as he then was.
Yeah. Well, the fact is that we saw some replica of good attitude in him. And being a pastor of a church and being a businessman too, we really know that he's going to handle the state. It wasn't for our own purpose only. Our mission was to have a governor that would transform the lives of the people in the state, that would transform the state in terms of construction, building bridges, and so on, bringing the state together, irrespective of ethnic group. And we saw that in him, that he is going to unite the state. We were after the unity of the state and the development of the state. As you can see, within these 2 years, he has tried.
All right. Okay. So let's directly follow from where Elder just left it. In tune with the theme, our focus is on in which ways has Governor Umo Eno's performance enthralled his 2023 frontline foot soldiers, and we're looking at it using the Akwa Ibom State Ward Leaders Union as a classic example. Let's leverage on the last line of Elder Tete. 2 years on, almost 2 years on. Today is the 10th, so we're looking at 19 days away from his second anniversary in office. How indeed have you been enthralled by the activities of this governor?
Fine. Like Tete said, let me start from what actually attracted the union to coming up as a team.
To then candidate Umo Eno.
Yes, to say let's support it. Number one, let's refer to the Bible. You have to be humble to be able to be exalted. Humility. Our governor stands out when it has to do with humility, and he's a very good listener. If you move and try to approach him, you first of all, he's a very tall man.
Yes.
You see him bend a little. He wants to listen. And if after listening, he will give you a definite answer. If he cannot give you an answer, they will tell you, oh, my brother, I will call you. So, very humble person. And you know that our society don't like people who are so proud. People who feels they have arrived. So that was number one thing that attracted the union.
That's the governor?
Yes.
That's the governor brandishing the hat that the union presented to him.
Let's come as a team and let's support this man that will be a very good listener. Number two, I personally served the governor
This should be when the governor received you in audience. Okay, that's the leader, the Ward Leaders Union, standing and addressing the governor. That was when you were received.
The last day, a day before we wrap up the final campaigns.
Okay,
we had a media chat at the Signature Hotel that all the media people came together, business group from Lagos and all of that. So that was at the Signature Hotel.
Sorry for the interjection.
So number two, the governor was not a visitor. He's been around.
Yes.
Like I said, I served him in one of the committees during the screening of councillors and local government chairmen. I think in 2018 about that, when the immediate past local government chairman, and he was my chairman. I was part of that committee, and the way he was looking at the papers of the councillors that were coming in and all of that and so I saw humility in him, and as somebody that has been around, there is no part of the state that you need to tell him stories. You know, he knows every nook.
Okay. All right. So that's the immediate past governor. When was this?
Maybe part of there was the governor also
so many audiences.
The governor also
hosted the union.
The union. This was when after the first elections.
Okay.
After the first elections, and we were to go.
Okay. In for this is government house. This is the.
We were to go in
for one of the meeting halls. Okay. Waiting for the arrival of the then governor.
We were to go in for second elections.
Okay.
And that
there's a banquet hall.
After Tinubu must have won the elections.
Okay.
And everybody thought there was no hope again for PDP. So the immediate past governor had to call the union.
Okay.
And during that night, we all promised him that we will all come back with our results from different wards. You know.
And you did.
Yes, and the man took us. And we also put some strategy in place that night on how every ward leader would deliver its wards. So it's something to also remember.
Okay, so
the governor wasn't a visitor as far as this Akwa Ibom is concerned. He's been around, he's done business over the years and all of that. So you won't really need to tell him stories about what is happening in Etemegbo, what is happening in Ukanafun, or what is happening in Eket, or what is happening in Etinan. He was a man that has been around. He has been a chairman of tourism board before, and so we didn't need to start telling him stories about the state. So we knew that this is a man that was good
for the job.
So those were the things that attracted us to him. And coming to
whether you actually enthralled by his activities 2 years down the line.
Fine. Let's start with our airline, the Bomb Air. Like the governor rightly said, as he came in, he wasn't going out to borrow money for anything, and he would travel out to France, travel out to other parts of the world to go and take a look at the aircraft itself, and he will bring them down, and he will tell everybody, we didn't borrow money, we bought this.
Okay.
You know. So, and you could see that the airline has really brought in a lot of revenue to the state. You know, the airline is, as far as this country is concerned, it's number one, because there's no other state government in this country that is running a good
other states are trying to play catch up.
And with the insecurity that has been happening, especially in the east and all of that, air transport is the other time I wanted to go to Abuja, I didn't know that our people were going for youth service and all of that. I couldn't get a flight. I said, what is happening? And people said, people are going for youth service. So everywhere was fully booked. And it's something everybody should also emulate. It would take pains to also travel with the head of the operations to go and see the airline by itself. That's number one. So the air transport is perfect, is stabilized, and people talk about it within here and outside here. That's number one. Now, come to look at a security environment. The era of kidnapping is gone. You could enter the streets from actually you drive around 12 midnight, 1 o'clock and all of that.
So you are fine director general. Is it on printing? What is happening here?
I see the
one of the many sessions. I mean, and that's Obong Martin Umana, former chairman of the Senate.
You know, when educating
voters.
Yes.
Okay, ahead of the actual voting.
No, we used to host some groups and
Okay.
also educate them, because world leaders were not to do the job alone.
Okay.
We got the canvassers and all of that, so
Beautiful.
we will educate them, and however those were dummy
the ballot papers that you used to demonstrate out.
This was all and all of that.
That's right.
Who now tell the
That's
people,
right.
you know.
Beautiful.
So, like I was saying, you enter the streets of Uyo in the night these days, you could feel free to drive around. Everywhere is lit, street lights, and you wouldn't even hear the sounds of generators, which means the government has saved a lot of costs, because we are no more running diesel.
Absolutely.
I save a lot of costs, millions of naira every month, and on the other hand, he has provided lights. Sometimes in the past, when diesel used to run the street lights, I know some people benefited from it, but then somewhere along the line, people also will be going to steal those diesel and all of that, and some of the streets will not have the lights. Yes, but now steady street lights, and that has checked the menace of security. That has checked a lot of armed robbery. That has checked a lot of social vices at night. So, and a lot of people feel free to do business. People sell on the street now in Uyo in the night because the environment is highly secured. Let's also look at the education sector. Model primary school. It will go to CKs. That's where we used to play ball every Saturdays and all of that. The government took over that school, and you need to see some of us that we're sending our kids to nursery and all of that. You now, when you look at these kids now, these pupils now in the primary school, you'll be forced to say, let me send my kids to a public school. The government has transformed the place and make the downtrodden to also have hope that there's a great future as far as the state is concerned. And he has come to maintain the free and compulsory education. No teacher will collect 1 naira from any of the students and all of that. So he has maintained that. He gives their subvention when it is due and all of that. So that also has checked a lot of people, a lot of dropouts who would have been at home to be in school.
Okay, all right, Evangelist, let me get you talk to us. You listen to the director, contact and mobilization. I like to sound you out. Was he speaking your mind when he reeled out those achievements of the governor? And can we truly say, for instance, you're a woman, and it wouldn't be out of place for you to speak for the women folk in terms of what he has done, to impact on the lives of women? Are you satisfied to the extent that if given another opportunity, you'll even do more than you did in 2023 for the governor, should he want to run for a second term?
I'm satisfied with what the Director of Contact and Mobilization just said. What he has just said is nothing but the truth. And to add to that, this administration has actually shown women more green lights, giving them the sense of belonging. The women are so relaxed because they have been given their position. So you will be agitating for 30%.
Is that 40?
Yeah.
I think I've even gotten 40 already. Who knows? Maybe you'll be advancing towards 50.
This is a period. This is an administration that you have more of women in governments and actively involved, given the opportunity to do to manage the office, to administer, to give directive in what they know is good as it concerns the office they're holding. Now, this is this period that we have more of councillors. I think now we have close, is it 260 something councillors?
Women.
Female councillors.
Female councillors across 31 local government. The same thing is that the supervisors, the same number.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
We have vice chairman, like really, where a man is a chairman, a woman is a vice chairman. So if you check in all the local government, you can count on your fingertips that women almost equates the number of chairmen.
Men,
yes, a man. The secretaries, we don't even, they're uncountable.
And then you have 5 female chairmen of council.
5, sick. You look at it. We're not saying others did not do, but this one supersede.
All right, Elder Tete, because we're getting close to when we need to switch and also allow the panelists to fire some shots at your end. Elder, you don't look to me like somebody who would sit on live TV and be economical with the truth. Politics is a game of interest, and oftentimes in live the first law of nature is first preservation. I'd like you to speak as a man who doesn't give two hoots whether the truth hurts, or not. We've painted a general picture of how well the governor has done, the achievements he has recorded, but talking about reward system towards some members of the union, I'd like you to tell us how it is. Say it in the way you know yourself to say it. Let me not propel you to say what you ordinarily wouldn't want to say. So would you say that as members of the Akwa Ibom State Ward Leaders Union, you are indeed satisfied with the activities of the governor vis-a-vis his reward system?
Let us not go into the reward system.
We shouldn't
Let's talk about what he has done.
Okay.
In the area of health, if you go to each of the local government now, you'll see primary health center well equipped with staffs, and there is none that you wouldn't have one or two medical doctors to attend. It has been very difficult for the rural people to get to the tertiary institution to get treated. But here, what you can see in the main hospital, the secondary hospital, you can see in the health center today.
Okay.
There is no area. So he has done so well in terms of that and other, I think. And the ward leaders are still looking because we know that when he finished what he is supposed to put in place,
it will come back to personal reward. So perhaps members of the Akwa Ibom State Ward Leaders Union. Yeah. Fantastic. Okay, so back to you, Director, Contact, and you wanted to add something to that? In addition to what you want to add to that, talk to us about your choice of white. I mean, you guys stand out. The union stands out wherever you go. What informed your choice of white?
Well, you know that uniform is not easy to come by.
Okay. And, so the economy was part of the consideration. So virtually everybody has
even
white.
From primary school, that you can see that it's easy to just get a white. And once you wear white, you'll be outstanding anyway.
Yeah.
What as a union, we want to thank the governor at least for giving opportunity to one of us, one committed member, and Chibon to be appointed as a commissioner in the State Executive Council. And like we said, the government is just almost 50% halfway, and we believe as a member of the union, we can start counting what is going to come to the union, where the just shall live by faith.
You're an incurable optimist. I like that. Okay, so can we quickly do this? We have 5 minutes, I'm told, so let's quickly allow our panelists to also fire some salvos on our three guests. In case of just joined us, Governor Umo Eno, 29 guests, 29 days. Today on the program, we're being joined by the Shakers and Movers of the Akwa Ibom State Ward Leaders Union, a frontline socio-political group that was at the forefront of campaigning for the governor. And today, our focus is on the extent to which the governor's activities have indeed enthralled those who were foot soldiers during the electioneering, and we're using the Akwa Ibom Ward Leaders Union as a classic example. Okay, so we have the three of them who have joined us. Okay, so let's now switch and have a panelist, Mary Ann, Andy. Okay, so you've been listening to our guest. Is there any question you have for the union? Now remember, I need to warn all the panelists. This is a union that Michael Bush is Director General. So be conscious of the kind of question you ask them, so you don't get yourself into trouble. Okay. So go ahead, Marianne.
Okay, thank you very much, Itoro. I want to commend the governor for always taking part in his projects. When I walked in, I heard the director said that when he came for, was that the inauguration, that from the pictures we had there, he said that you didn't need to give him stories or report of what happened, because he was already part of the process. He was always walking in. And I've heard also from some people that have been working with the governor that when he gives you something to do, a contract or any project, he wouldn't just sit back and wait for you to bring reports. That he goes to site to check what you're doing is always part of the process. So I want to commend that aspect of his leadership style. Is always part of what is going on. He doesn't wait until the reports are brought.
Okay.
So he's always part of it. So the governor is really doing well.
Absolutely. And that's why it's not easy for him to spontaneously, reward those who do well. The other time we saw him on the spur of the moment just promote somebody to the rank of permanent secretary. Okay, Rachel?
Juliet.
Oh, Juliet. Apologies, please. Apologies. So
okay. I just want to commend the Ward Leaders Union for what they did. Actually, they really did a great job to make sure the governor who is on the seat now is there successfully. So I just want to ask the woman. She said it was as a result of some people who said they started PDP, the party, in their rooms, and they were somehow forgotten.
Yes.
And they decided to come together and so that they can support to bring the man who has good quality to the seat of governorship.
That's right.
I want to ask you, woman, are you sure it wasn't only the qualities embedded in the governor, or not the party, the PDP, that you didn't want the party to go extinct? Was it only about the quality embedded in the governor?
Quite not. I said it's about the quality of persons. That's the first day I attended the meeting. He asked me what moved me to be
motivated you to join the union.
And I told him it's because of the recommendation, the comments, the people I met the first day, and I saw people, old faces that have been in the business of campaigns, party,
business of politics.
Yes.
Basically PDP. PDP members.
PDP, because the PDP is the government of the day.
So supporting the governor to go on seats, was it? Are you sure it wasn't about the party should not go extinct?
Because if we have, I don't think so. Because the quality of now, when you have a good market, you go ahead and advertise it. Let people know who. Like the director has just said, the caliber and the quality, the contents of the governor, what he has in the what is been on ground.
So in other words, it was a combination of the fact that the governor had sterling qualities, and then he came on the platform of a party that was like a religion in the state. So a combination of both made the job easier.
We all know that PDP, Akwa Ibom is PDP, and PDP is Akwa Ibom State. You understand? And the governor, being who he is, with a spirit of humility in him, and we interacted with him. So when you have a good leader, you can as well. It's just like we talk about our leader, the PG, Michael Bush, everywhere, because
the President General. What did I keep referring to him as? Director General. No apologies. It's President General.
Yes, PG. Yes,
it's President General.
I'm able.
Can I commit such blunder?
Maybe
because I'm an adjunct member of the union. That's why I don't know some of these things.
So my sister, I'm so happy that the government is on board.
Okay.
And these people join hands to make sure that he is where he is today. And actually we are enjoying that quality of leadership that we expected from him. For example, sir, just chipping in, it was as a result of the coming together of the union, all leaders, that you now have every ward having a PA.
Ward PA. Okay. Fantastic.
Yes, which was what he promised us.
So that can even be attributable to the emergence of the Akwa Ibom State Ward Leaders Union in some sense.
What I'm saying is that it was our, when he had a meeting, we encouraged him to. He said, we'll take this down because of our emergency. Yes, he will take it to the grassroots.
We're saying the same thing.
Yes.
We're saying the same thing. So it's safe to say that the union and the philosophy around it must have been part of why the governor decided, to take governance to the down to the ward. Okay, yes. Chuku, I don't know, Chukuagu, I don't know if you can do this in 30 seconds. I have signals that we need to round up at this point.
Absolutely. I want to celebrate the union for the efforts the union made in the emergence of the governor. I knew everything that happened. I want to celebrate the leadership of Power Michael Bush. His sincerity, his forthrightness is what has led to the caliber of persons that sit and work for the emergence of the government of the day. I want to leverage on the last statement that the chairman made, the international president made. He said, the just shall live by faith. That means the union still believes that better days are yet to come. But I want the union to play Oliver Twist a little.
You can't tell the union what to do. They're fine. They're fine. So leave the union at that point. I think it's high time we switch to gear, we change gear and allow. Sorry to have interjected, because we are running out of time. You heard when I framed the question. I directed it at Elder Tete, and he told me, "Don't worry," and it shows that these are very patriotic leaders indeed. They don't care too much about their personal gains, provided the governor who has been masses centric, people centric, continues to do the good he's doing for the good people of Akwa Ibom State. Okay, so Akwara was Vanos Akpan. Don't get to me about to say you go when you need time so kuno guitar don't get ke mbonte minake so ke kup tang no mono kangen say you never know
ni song idem mfane medo idebe fiona idebe bu ayoko seni itioke donc idon ali sem bombanga ukara govno moyo iswaiba isene wedo musoke kusene da musoke bero fumane ki kumyenga musene elemeko mboso songo na so woti za sene wori do klikere do sene ukai ntani maini mbone da I would kemme ward ke kuru mo ward leaders union ki kom makara jen ikibe na moidi sargo moiro me rianu tongison ana ke ku yun nuene ko mu rian ni tong kisong bani ko ku kon nuene se dang ikong mo dum bune rian tong kisong e ku yun nuene e ku me nuene ni endem a fo poro janga ku fumaru ri onge ndaka na mo ke what leaders union mo sang e pere mbone se di dong e ku si do e binamdi bi ro ke bi tong mo e be mo nsiki do no ndi feni u do di nyemme di I to I fe ku kan e se di dong I bu no di u yu di feni na mo ammo bi yo kisi ko wi to ke bo tri ya to for mi ro ndo ko for do ya ba ke na ke to ku kan fo ke ba di kan wo di ko si di wo di ke wi si ko ke si ke tro e so ma ka ri nyo fo ke se ko ke tro fo si ke si e be mo bo si ki do ru do nga fo to ke to ko fo ka ba di ti yo ki do ka pi do ba ke na ba nam ni mo ki de yang ari ku me yang aro me mi su yang ba di isu yang ke ni mo mai ke de yang aro ke ro ya yang e bo be ma mai bi ki do yang I bi ki ka ma gi fiut e bi ki so ka ga fiut kem mi mo ki ket ta tin so di dem mo pam kon so di dem a ro ngara ba te bo ke nye be mu bo mi su a nyo ngo be me rai wuru kara gi so mi kem mi mo ki ken na ada wuru kara rai ki si yo go mi pasto mo no te ke ni tan so di dem ku so ngor I ba na ga ka I tang kon no nye tri nyu gu tong ku fien gan bang tong no ki tong go se be be na wo ke mu bo ki tong ga yang marara itong nyo fien okay njama no ke na maro ma sangat pedenye nyu fien di abudi afon njama no boro ama maro mai kan no boro ken do yu ko ro I ko I fo ke tanga de kumina ngaro ke do ke ne ke nam ni mo itong ke mari bu ke ri to di ke mi ke dan mo ko nang pom ku di ba kan po iba ka se wuta no tri da pin nyap ke nam di ta no di kan ni pin nyap am mo bi yo ke sa ro ke be bu si ka kan te kai ba si kan ta ro ke nam ni mo ke pe mo ne ke se fre fun bun ti do ka wot li ra ti do ba ya ka mo ne no kom ko nam bu ni ke se ke mo ne mai ne ni se nam ke wi ki ben ni fu ke wi si ro ke tu mo nyong e be ne do ma yu ku tu mo nyong se do ma bong ta ro ke nam mi si ngo bun si mai ma ni mo ne ne to ke fang u no I dem di dia sa ro fo me di yo ke fe ke dim fa di ke ko me to ko ni te ko ro ke mi bo yin dim fa a ni se bo ke te fe ke dim fa kenta ka do kenam mi moi kan mani nam ka mi nam ai mani to ba ari to yo ko ba sa ire bo ka kan do ka ba shi to mama akpa na ma shi yo ro ya asio nyekem kenta ka do kenam mi moi sang ibere e di be bo fo nte wo di la ta mi ndi vo ni udu mbo ndi ve ye me bi yo ki ko se mi moi ka ye me ro ko wi ro bi mama nkuku ibong bai bong fuong e ya ga no yen ama su ko di ta ka na yong ke mi moi ka be yem na pastor mo no asanga isanga mi ake won nen dem bi mi so ke nyiri go isir go mo ko fo ko yuti ko ri be bundo ko fo ke nyiri yo ngbo ke wi si no no ko ke ite mu to ayi ke nyi ya ri yo na a se ke tanga mi anyi no ro word la ke mo sa anyi to word afre fri ko se mo tanga ru ke so fa ya so so mo ni ka
adem na ke fo para wa so one so ya ba so dio as international president of Mbo, we need to really look at the direction of Sylvanus. I mean, he does this on a daily basis since we started the program, and he has a fantastic way of delivering it with spontaneous adages, you know, and concreto adage. That's all right, so that's about the size of the show, but I don't know if you can take your parting shot. This is only halfway into the first term, and it looks obvious from feelers we're getting from the state that the governor is good to go on another term when the time is nigh. So meaning we still it's safe to say it's 2 down, 6 more to go. So let's take turns, and in just about 5 seconds or so, your parting shots to the people as we get set to round off.
Well, I want to thank the people for the support they've given the governor. This is almost half time now. In half time is when new strategies are being planned, and we can't have 2 governors at a time.
Absolutely.
Let's reduce too much criticism. Let's give him the support. This is turn to be a governor.
Absolutely.
And when you give him peaceful environment, he can plan more, and the future of Akwa Ibom will be for all of us to enjoy.
Thank you very much, Akbara Wanselbe. All right, Evangelist.
I would say should shun so much of comparison. This one they did what? Everybody has their own leadership style.
That's right.
Everybody has their leadership style. He has his own leadership style. We should allow him to run. All you need to do is to back it up in prayers. He's a pastor, so that the Lord will endow him more wisdom, knowledge, and understanding.
Absolutely.
To learn well.
Absolutely. Yes, Elder Idareset Etete.
We should. I am pleading to everybody to allow him to go ahead and do what God is directing him to do. Let us encourage him. Leave too much criticism.
Thank you very much. Okay, so that's been it. I'd like to thank the 3 of you for finding time to come. We're in the mood of celebration. In the next 19 days, we're going to be rolling out the drums to celebrate the governor as he turns 2. And there is no way anybody can forget the roles, sacrificial roles, that you played as members of the Akwa Ibom State Ward Leaders Union, ably led by your very hardworking, very indefatigable, very dependable, and very trustworthy President General Parawa Michael Bush. I'd like to thank you for believing in him and standing by him to ensure that you succeed the way you succeed the way you succeeded during the electioneering. And I like your sense of incurable optimism. You're not selfish. You're very selfless leaders, and this is a big lesson to everybody who get involved in working for the governor to emerge. Just be patient. Allow the governor, continue to do good. A time will come. It will look the direction of the union. I'd like to thank you for having come. So on behalf of everybody, this is how we end the first part of today's outing. Right on the heels of this, we're going to be speaking with some founder of a prominent polytechnic in Akwa Ibom State. We'll get to unfold the naming details when the time is now. My name is Itoro Columba. It's been my pleasure to have been your anchor. We're back for the second part of today's edition of the show in no time. Please stay with us.
Over 200 units of compassionate homes, hundreds of kilometers of roads covering all local government areas, over 10,000 entrepreneurial equipment and tools to MSMEs, 5 billion naira worth of grants to farmers and traders, over 60 billion gratuity arrears to retired civil servants cleared,
acquisition of brand new aircraft for Umo Air, advancement of work on Ibom Deep Seaport, donation of 150 units of 2-bedroom flats to 150 civil servants, advancement of work on Ibom Tropicana hotels and 5,000-seater international conference center, primary healthcare renaissance, launch of state health insurance scheme and quick response statewide ambulance services, establishment of the Center for the Elderly, construction of a 200-bed hospital within the state medical corridor. These and more are the huge strides of Governor Umo Eno in less than 2 years. They are realities because of your tax. Much more can be achieved if only you continue to pay your tax. Have you paid your tax? This message is courtesy Macrae Trust International Limited for the Akwa Ibom State Internal Revenue Service.
Everything you go through in life is preparing you for your next assignment. My father was a police officer, so I lived in the barracks. A barracks like a mini in Nigeria, you find everybody there. My dad's salary, of course, couldn't meet the family income, so I had to sell soft drinks for my mother so that we can make up the family income. I used to take soft drinks from our home and I go to the airport and sell. It was fun. I didn't know I was going to ever get into hotel business. So eventually, my coke hawking helped me later in life when I started running my hotel. Those little things you did became building blocks for my later days in life. And you know what? My house was built on the same street I used to go through to hawk. And so everybody that saw me hawk these soft drinks for my mother, when I bought a land there and built my house, all of these people were still alive. It's like, some of them had to break their children. Look at me mentor these kids. Today, when I drive around the streets, sometimes you find people sell and you stop by. I just remember, it used to be like this. That hawking has helped me today to be able to serve the people. Accept the things you can't change and change the things you can, and ensure that you just have the fear of God in you. I think the only person that can stop you from achieving what God has set out for you is you.
Akwa Ibom is rising.
Akwa Ibom is truly a state in forward motion. With the advent of this golden era, we are driving entrepreneurship and creating employment for our youth with a Ibom-led initiative.
We are alleviating pressure on the parents of our school-age children by providing them with free and compulsory education, school uniforms, shoes, and millions of exercise books. We are building model primary schools across the state.
We have paid more than 16 billion naira in gratuity to retired civil servants and leave grant to teachers and local government workers.
Our road infrastructural maintenance efforts spans all the 31 local government areas in the state. We are constructing dualized roads and bridges on multiple fronts.
Also, we've constructed 20,000-seater amphitheater at the Unity Park, Uyo, to further drive tourism. Our rise agenda is working.
This is our home, where we all belong. The place where life is beautiful. The peaceful ambience we enjoy when we live together in unity and love. Akwa Ibom, it's all man, and you know, we go stand together, we go make them better. We be brothers and sisters, no matter where we stay. Akwa Ibom, you know, it's all man, and you know. No matter where we stay, we are one.
welcome back. It's still Governor Umo Eno at 2:29 guests, 29 days. And on this second part of the program, on this 6th day since we started, I have joining me the international the president at large, Bush House, Nigeria. A while ago, I had to, keep him somewhere on account of the kind of guests we had, but it's down here. Is it Bush?
Yes,
sir. Good time.
Very nice, very nice.
Welcome.
Very nice. Thank you, Chairman.
All right. So on this program, any good thing is possible. We've just decided, and we've designed it such that we have a good mix of the panelists. Oftentimes, you see us switch from one set to the other, and I like to say that we have some members of staff of the Akwa Ibom State Akwa Savings and Loans Limited. I understand that name is on the verge of being replaced with something disappearing and being replaced with something else. So alongside others, we have in the house Mr. Akwere Essien, who's the Chief Financial Officer.
The CFO.
Okay, CFO. Yes. Akwere, this is the first time I'll hear of this version.
That's it.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
That sounds like a typical Ibibio man.
Exactly.
Fantastic.
Exactly.
You can see how Sylvanus is nodding his head. Okay, so we also have
Itu.
Okay. The 4 eyes. We're always like that. Okay, so we also have Mrs. Helen Ekwere, who is the head mortgage and real estate department of the bank.
Good to be here.
And I like the fact that she's hiding right behind the
All right, and we also have Mr. Gabriel Brendan, head ICT, the Akwa Savings and Loans Limited. Brendan, you're welcome.
I'm glad to be here.
Thanks for joining us. And of course, we also have Etienne Karika. Etienne Karika should be one of the interns at the
Etienne
Michael
Karika
Bush.
is second year student at Communication and Media Studies Faculty of the University of the Year.
Okay, fantastic.
And she's here to see things for herself. Yeah.
Etienne, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, of course, we still have our in-house translator-in-chief who is here to join us. Okay.
Yeah, while we're waiting for our second guest, by the way, the second topic for the day is polytechnic education. I think so.
Okay, in the H.
Yes, how polytechnic education has fed, or how the polytechnics are fed under
Governor Umo Eno,
and then the second year. Okay, so but while we're waiting for engineer Dr. Victor E.U. Williams, promoter Ibom Metropolitan Polytechnic, Uyo, to join us, we have the Akwa Savings people. We know on this station they're going to be having an interview 5 minutes after we round off our series at 6 o'clock. But they are here. They can just tell us what's going to be happening on Tuesday, because Tuesday is a big day at Akwa Savings and Loans Limited. Yes, Mr. Akwere said.
Thank you so much. Akwa Savings and Loans Limited, for good 30 years, that bank has been in Akwa Ibom, giving services to the mortgage services to the people of Akwa Ibom State. As it is now, businesses evolve, and being a bank is regulated by the Central Bank of Nigeria, NDIC, and of course the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria. And over the years, as businesses evolve, regulation is also changing. And in those days, 30 years ago, when these banks were brought up in Nigeria, the nomenclature was savings and loans. And after a while, the central bank said, these are primary mortgage banks whose licenses are to facilitate delivery of affordable homes to the people of Nigeria, and also for residential and real estate or commercial purposes. So the central bank has come up with the regulation or circular that the nomenclature going forward should be mortgage banks. So virtually all the banks have complied, but here we are. Akwa Savings and Loans Limited will be taking that step to moving to a new name carrying that nomenclature, mortgage bank.
Absolutely. Mrs. Helen Ekwere, how would your new name affect the bank?
Okay, thank you. I feel honored to be here, and it's a privilege for us to tell the people of Akwa Ibom what is coming up on the 13th of May.
that name is going to help us speak boldly about what we do. If you check the primary mortgage banks in Nigeria, I think we were just like the few mortgage banks left to actually get into this new nomenclature as approved by Central Bank of Nigeria. So it's going to help us speak boldly about our businesses. It's going to help us compete with other mortgage banks in other places. So it's going to help us talk to people outside the country about what we do. They will see us differently. They're not just going to see us like one of those, or for what they've known for all these years as Aqua Savings and Loans. And it's going to be a big one for us. And it will help us really compete with our peers in the industry.
Okay, Mr. Gabriel Brendan, right? Yeah. Okay, I got that. ICT is your forte. ICT is your area. ICT is when it's how you, it's what you deploy to help, or what you deploy to help. What do you deploy? What am I even speaking here? To help. Don't worry, I'm thinking about many things. That's actually something. Yeah, to help banking at Aqua Savings. How is that going to help the new arrangement?
Well, thank you so much. Like in the media sector, there's something called queues. So what is going to happen is that the system is already running excellently, but we are on queues to switch just the name.
Absolutely.
But the services will still remain the same.
Yeah. And, I don't envy you guys at all. That job is big. The job of changing name. There's a name you bring on and people will be wondering, what the heck is going on? What kind of name is this? So you have so much job to do, and you have a larger interview coming up at this station at 6, and then another one coming up on the sister station, Radio Kwaibu 90.5 FM at 6:30. But now, the anchor, let's turn attention to the man of the moment.
Okay, fantastic. The promoter of Metropolitan Polytechnic. Tatano Fort?
Yes,
that's correct.
Yeah.
So good to have you.
Thank you so much. Yes. How exactly I fired the first shot? Engineer Dr. Victor E.U. Williams, very nice to see you. Thank you for joining us on this program. And under Governor Umo Eno, PhD, 2 years on, how would you say has the polytechnic setup fared?
Undisputably, Governor Umo Eno is the best. I can say that very confidently, because if you look at the number of polytechnic we had before he came on board and how many we have today, Akwa Ibom now has become destination for education activities. The polytechnic has grown in number. I think we used to be about 7, but now I think we are more than 18 accredited polytechnics and colleges of education.
In Akwa Ibom?
Yes, in
18.
We are up to that.
Most of them are privately owned, I guess.
Most of them are private, of course.
All right.
So meaning the
thing is working.
It makes the environment very conducive, for business to strive. Education is part of it.
But fantastic as that news sounds, it's a bit ironic for me, because we tend to be in an era in Nigeria. I don't know what happens in other climes where the popularity, the suitability, the viability, the sustainability of polytechnic education tend to be waning. For instance, I know because of the dichotomy between BSc and HND and all of that, and I know of a number of persons who backed HND in some areas who have now gone back to the university to pursue BSc, so and that's why for me, interesting as that news you just broke sound, it's a bit ironic. So in other words, I'd like you to take us through what is the fate of polytechnic education in Nigeria, and why have you found yourself in a state that looks as though what you offer are no longer as popular as they used to be in the past?
And can you just hold his thoughts, Chairman? Let's just take him to the screen. Caregivers training. What's that? We're discussing polytechnic. Why do you have
that particular one? Is one of the latest program launched by Ibom Metropolitan Polytechnic through City and Guilds of London Institute. Caregivers training, or healthcare specialists are actually something that is not what we used to know. In medical sector, you have medical doctor, pharmacists, nurses, of course you can name them, and all of them has a body that regulates the activities. And I think they have forgotten somewhere something somewhere that all these people don't have the right to visit you at home and then take care of you. Maybe medical doctor can do that, but nurses cannot do that on her own. But healthcare brand allow some well-trained medical specialists to come to your house and visit you depending on your schedule, take your vital signs, and then look at what you are eating, and then do some recommendation. For example, the School of Nursing offers 36 courses, which includes maybe mathematics and the rest of it, but this healthcare offers 32 courses. 3 courses stand out, which is not obtained in the School of Nursing. One of them is nutrition. One of them is nutrition, and the second one is physical exercise, and the third one is physiotherapy. These 3 things are part of the thing they do. So in the other word, if you have a retainership with a healthcare specialist, he comes to your house based on the schedule, maybe once a week or maybe once in 2 weeks, and takes you on set, putting the music for you to dance, and then it show you how to dance, and it asks you, let's do some juggling, you know, walk out and all sorts of things, and then look at the food that you are taking. If you are taking, for example, people like Bonfita tea, milk and butter, and he knows that you are having a high blood pressure, this food is not good for you. Medical doctor will not be coming home to guide you, but healthcare specialists will visit your home to guide you. And see, this is one of the new things that we have brought into the state, and which we know our people need to have good health.
Yeah. Chairman.
Okay, your question?
Yes.
Okay, fine. You say, how are we coping with the trend of the continuous, argument between HND and BSc? That one, I want to say, you say, what's the future? The future for Polytechnic is very great. Yeah, because all I know, change is something that we cannot wipe out. So today, let it be Polytechnic University that stay on top. That means if there's a change, it's going to be the other way around. Why wouldn't you do that? People like us will sit down and we say, this is not right. You know, by the edict that established the university, they are supposed to focus on scientific research. That's what their job, research and design. Polytechnic, we're supposed to focus on production. So if you are from university and you design one software or whatever for us to run helicopter, and you give us how you think it should look like, you hand over to us, we'll produce. One person designed that, but we can produce it, that helicopter, in Nigeria and all other countries of the world. So where do you need more people? So when everybody move over to the university, and because our parents made us to feel that way, that my child has attended university, I think they are feeling it now that that was the very wrong choice. So polytechnic education, as it's happening in Singapore and other countries, is stronger. It's even more expensive. So more people goes there, and that's why they can. Nigeria has no production because everybody in the from university, and of course it's even affected the polytechnic somehow in the fact that the people coming to teach in the polytechnics are equally from the university, and you are even asking people to make a law that make equalized HND with BSc. Who are the people making the law? 90% of them are BSc graduate. How would they? So, but we know, as long as Nigeria wants to grow technologically, we want to advance in production, we want to be independent, self-sufficient in everything, a time will come that HND will have
it's pride of place.
Yeah, that's it.
Fantastic. Because when you said it goes beyond the sentiment of parents, and I like it the way you nailed it. Because government is also not supporting the abolition of that dichotomy. But back to the first question that Mr. Bush asked you, and the answer you gave, from about 7, the number has skyrocketed to about 18. You said, and for me, that's a milestone. So we need to properly situate that in a state like Akwa Ibom. This must be directly attributable to Governor Umo Eno, perhaps the kind of policies he has brought. Take us through some of those polytechnic-friendly policies that this government, has enunciated. Hence, this quantum leap in the number of polytechnics. That's a great question. What was the case in the past?
I would say Umo Eno has actually opened the door for education activities to strive in the country. In the state. He has personally, get involved in supporting and encouraging polytechnics and other institutions. He's a lover of education.
How, for instance, has he supported Ibom Metropolitan Polytechnic?
Ibom Metropolitan Polytechnic, the first convocation we had, the governor was there. The governor was there through the commissioner for education, and he dropped a very fantastic package for us. That was the encouragement. Of course, because of that little thing I got from His Excellency, I didn't go home to share and set up a party. We push it to CNG. That's why Ibom Metropolitan today is the only registered CNG installation and training center.
Really? What does that mean, CNG?
CNG is the compressed natural gas, which is the coming from the presidential initiative on compressed natural gas, the ICNG. So they started. It's a President Bola Tinubu, in his magnanimity, said it is important to diversify the fuel consumption in the country, so as to crash the price, because something that keep the price going up is monopoly. So if you have other people that are coming in to do everything, then you know that you have to compete. It's no longer monopoly.
Okay.
So he is doing that. So Ibom Metropolitan Polytechnic, courtesy of His Excellency Governor Umo Eno, PhD, has been able to break some milestone. One of the things that came in during his time, number one, I mentioned the convocation, and then number two, I mentioned inauguration of the CNG training center. Yeah, so we are still moving forward.
Okay, quite a while Chairman was fielding you, was getting you to answer some questions, Mr. Promoter of Ibom Metropolitan Polytechnic. They showed footages of convocation, or was that convocation, or was that matriculation? Yes, these photos. Is any of such ceremonies coming up again? Because I received, I think, a letter from you. Yes.
Yes, we just finished one yesterday, and it was a huge success.
It was yesterday.
Yes, it was yesterday. It was a huge success, and I think my following His Excellency everywhere he goes has not been in vain. And
you follow him everywhere he goes?
Yes, every time, once I have opportunity to do that, I do that. And if you look at how we also supported him to come to power, I personally have never voted before. I have never been at electoral
serious indictment.
I have not. I'm telling you, I've never done that. But because of Umo Eno, I knew him. When he was working Betela Tools, I knew him when he was working. We were working together in ExxonMobil, but he was
a contractor.
Contractor providing services to us, and he's a very nice person. Of course, then we used to call him governor, and we didn't know we were praying. We used to call him governor. If you catch somebody, they will tell you. So he was already a man of a very likable character, a man that is open to peace, and he doesn't need trouble. He feel everybody should work. So because of him, I had to go to my community and said, let's talk to my people. Let's vote this man. I know him. And they took me by my word. Everybody voted. We had a carnival that night. I understand they used to fight in political polling booth and all that, but in my place, the 2 or 3 factions that break out to they want to have their own way. I staged a carnival. We killed that night, 2 nights before the election.
Kill goats.
We kill cows, kill goats, do everything, put music,
and you ate
everybody that, everybody. So all the other faction, we brought them. After all, they are my brothers. I said, look, there's no need. This victory is sure for Umo. And when this victory goes, what will be the part of my people? You know, what? 9? What will be the part of my people?
Okay. Let's take you back to Ibom Metropolitan Polytechnic. I really am interested in that. Let's go to the campus. You talked just now, but okay, first the campus. Show us around the campus. Take us around the campus.
Well, the campus is situated on IBB Avenue, right from the sharing the same Bacon Stone with State Secretariat, Idamasinkanga State Secretariat. And you see that open field. It used to be a drainage, what you call still a drainage a channel. And so, but we are maintaining that.
Is this it?
Yeah, that's even inside. Talking about from the IBB Avenue.
Okay.
Here. So walking down there on the right, you find what we call entrepreneurial skills academies. We have about 9 academies. Caregivers academy is there, catering academy is there, video and photography academy is there, fashion academy is there, hairstyling, barbing academy is there, and so many academy. Of course, ICT academy is there, and we are going to introduce a driving academy, because in the polytechnic you must come out with something. So we just segmented that into different academies. So they are running autonomous. Even our clinic has been commercialized. I received some money from the medical doctor. I said, oh, so this thing was like this. I'm getting some money from the clinic. So it's the academy, which is the healthcare academy, is even producing. I think that's what decision we've taken so far, and it's so good. So if you go straight up now, is now the campus you are looking at. That point you are looking at, that's very quiet environments for classrooms only. Classroom. But if you go off to your left, that's where you are going
Director,
to see.
Please give us those photos. Give us the footages, please.
If you tee up to your left, that's where you are going to have the administrative block and some of the laboratories and storehouse for equipment, because we need to secure them very, very properly. And then that classroom environment is so quiet, so conducive and spacious, and I mean it's just good for learning.
Okay, so beyond the physical infrastructure, take us through the content, the program content, the curriculum, the courses, the duration of each of those courses that you run.
Yes, I said in the state, and of course, what should be the driver of a particular institution located in a place is, first of all, the economic strength of that environment. We look at Akwa Ibom State. What is the economic strength of this environment? You can't run away from tourism and hotels. People have commended us for doing that, but they are going to commend us more when we begin to turn out professionals that knows what to do. Because if you go to a particular hotel today, maybe you're going the next 2 weeks, you will not see the same person that served you. Yeah, because they don't have professional. So when you come in and you don't go according to instruction, you are out. But if you have professional, you can have somebody that work there and retire. So if tourism and tourism is a very big strength for this Akwa Ibom State. The next one is oil and gas. Even the whole country depends on oil and gas. And of course, if education of this place cannot support oil and gas, then what are we doing? What are we saying? Because you look at it, what is happening in the real life. Out of all of us here, how many are we? We are about 8 or 9. How many of us are involved in oil and gas? Let's use that as an example. So it means the whole state, 90% are novice about what is happening in the oil and gas. What am I saying? What is happening? They don't know that there are so many business opportunities, to take in oil and gas and make money. They don't even know how to get employment, the relevant qualification that they should have to be able to participate as an employee or provide essential services. This is the problem. It's only Ibom Metropolitan Polytechnic, but thank God the great man Bush has been on this journey with me for long, to sensitize the public. This is your oil. don't forget that misleading information. Oil will soon go out of.
Yes.
They started saying that since 18 something, and today check how many oil companies are in Akwa Ibom as against 2 years ago. Is it not increasing, sir? It's increasing. So why should we be listening to that? So, okay, since they say oil will soon go out of, let me do so. No, oil is our blessing that God gave us. So we should participate in producing it, doing business in it, and if you 90%, call it 60%, understand what is happening in the oil and gas and participate, you see you're going to have 60% rich people in Akwa Ibom. They will not be depending on the government to give them something.
Okay.
So that's, I think those are the two. I mentioned tourism. I also mentioned petroleum, caregiving, and I mentioned oil and gas. And then CNG has just joined, which I mentioned before.
So what's the direction of each of these courses? So assuming anybody who is watching you now is interested in
these courses are split into a regular program for school leavers, which is 2 years. 18 months, call it 18 months to 2 years duration, and you have your certification both national and international. That's for the skill, for example, oil and gas.
So what kind of certification at the end of 2 years?
Yes, at the end of 2 years, they have City and Guilds of London level 3, which is equivalent to ND++.
Oh.
And it is accepted globally.
What do they mean by one polytechnic, two qualifications?
Yeah, that's the essence. So if somebody comes into a regular polytechnic program, for example, you come in to do electronics, you are potentially someone who can also cross and do instrumentation and control. So you now have City and Guild of London level 3 diploma, and equally have national diploma. So it's 2. Of course, if that you can't cross because of the fees, we have created academies. You cross over to the academy and pick 3 months program and still have certification. But that's part of it. So you have 2 qualification. This I think is more than 2 qualification.
Absolutely.
So the program number 1 is regular program, which is 18 to 20 to 2 years, 18 months to 2 years, and then the other one is a program for graduates who, if you read civil engineering, or perhaps you read geology or whatever you read in your degree program, and so you're moving, you want to be in oil and gas. So you need to come and specialize, because oil and gas companies, a lot of white men we see here, when they arrive here, our engineers follow them behind. They are technicians, check their qualification, is City and Guild, level 3. And they come here, and the pack of the engineers will be following them, carrying fire. Who's supposed to follow who?
Perhaps because they are white in their skin.
So what I'm saying now is that we have specialized courses for graduates, which is just between 3 to 6 months, depending on how you can get it. And some of these, if you know you are good, you're already working in that field, but you did not have anything to show, you can simply apply for a professional exam.
All right, so
and still get the same thing.
Okay, let's talk about the acceptability, the validity of your certifications. You just mentioned City and Guild. That one is a globally accepted certification. But beyond that, generally speaking, to what extent are your certificates accepted? Maybe at workplaces, at further at NYSC, at higher levels of education. Beyond the shores of this country.
Any national or any school accredited by the National Board for Technical Education, for example, Polytechnic or NUC, or if your courses are accredited, you, at the end of the day, it's a national certificate, it's no longer your certificate. So how they want to treat it. But I'm talking about this particular one that can help us cross the boundary. No job here, jobless nation. Why don't you go to some country that are even looking for people to work? If you go to Dubai, I have so many friends that are in Qatar. Their salary goes to like 4-5 million every month, 6 million ordinary crane operators, 3 million basic salary, and other allowances coming like 4 million. That's 7 million crane operator who had no certificate. Some are coming back to apply to be able to do what we are doing, to be able to get something to show. So if you can earn, people can earn that there. I mean, our certification is just the only thing that is what are the end things now.
Take us through your fish schedule.
Absolutely, because just
yeah,
now he alluded to fish. He's the one that started the
He's the
trouble
one,
by saying if you cannot afford that fish. So
how prohibitive or
Bush and I,
affordable?
when we started this campaign, the school fee was placed at like 300,000 naira. But because of our strength or weakness in naira, and this thing has like tripled up. So of course, not only us, for all that receiving 2 years, we can still take about 600. We still have program for 300. Still have program for
per session
900
or per semester.
That's 300. The whole program, yeah. The whole program.
Okay.
Yeah, the whole
of for 2 years.
Yeah,
It covers a period of 2 years.
Yeah. So still have such program.
Okay, but students can pay piecemeal. They can split payment.
Yeah, sure, they can. They can.
Okay.
They can. If you go to other training outlets like a JCI in Port Harcourt, like check-ins in Port Harcourt, their courses is from 900 to 1.2 million for just 2 weeks course.
So are you on the UTME brochure? Is your school listed on the JAM brochure?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in other words, you're looking forward to, admitting some of those who just took their UTME.
Yes, that's true.
Oh, fantastic.
That's true.
All right. So, let's talk about your relationship, the relationship of your polytechnic. You've been around for long enough. I must congratulate you. I mean, at a time that businesses don't last for more than 5 years, you've been around and you are kicking stronger by the day. But let's talk about your relationship with your host community. How is it like? I know you're located at the town of Fort, or do you sprawl into other communities?
I have a way of giving you my speech, my remark. Yesterday convocation, I had my.
How did I miss that convocation? I was invited. I thought it was next week.
The convocation has come and gone, sir.
You monetize your absence. So it needs a whole lot of money to run the polytechnic.
Really crazy.
So I just looked at it. I just sit down here and said, who makes this possible? The first person is the Almighty God, Jehovah. And that's the God I know too well. He makes it possible all the time. Then who else makes it possible? His Excellency the Governor. He's the Chief Executive of the state. If the environment was not conducive, there's no way we'll make progress. Then who else made it possible? It was, check there, you will see that it was I describe him as the co-founder of the institution. I'm talking about the SSG, Prince Enobongowa. I describe him as the co-founder. And I mentioned that I'm loyal. And then the next person was the NBTA's executive secretary, who is the man that controls the polytechnic education, and he has done so well. And of course, the next person be now our other VCs that give us all the support from other institutions. Now our royal fathers, especially I mentioned there, if you were there, the chief, the village head of that place, Chief Idamosid Alfred. I even at a point I didn't know how to interpret that thing into English, so I wrote it there. This is the man that does not allow, that is Inuenimi Aramba. That's since the school is favorably located on his dorm out. So that's the village head of Atana for Chief Alfred. So we are enjoying a fantastic relationship with the coast, with the community, even our neighbors. That's the immigration and the controller of prisons, not prison, correctional center, and all the people around, the commissioner of police. You need to see who were there. I want to believe that all the security agencies in the state, they were there.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Most political, stakeholders were there. Enobongowa was there.
Yes. Our producer is insisting, Mr. Promoter of Ibom Metropolitan Polytechnic. Our producer is insisting we should chat to you just a little about the installation of natural gas center. Okay. How is that useful to our society? How can our people take advantage of that?
Yeah. Good enough. I have over 20-something years, 25 years experience in oil and gas. I started my career somewhere along the line in Shell. I moved over to a construction all in oil and gas. I moved over to Uso condensate. Uso condensate is actually gas. And also Condensate has another plant that was called NGL, natural gas liquid. And that NGL product that comes from there goes to LNG in Port Harcourt. So we are talking about gas here. It's been my life all through. You're dealing with cryogenic situation. It's a process. So now, this having come now, one paramount, something that stands paramount is safety. For this, as we are moving into this CNG, what stands strong is safety. You need to be safety conscious, and that's why the Metropolitan Polytechnic, having qualified resource persons, are just the most favorable organization to handle this CNG installation and conversion.
What does it mean, CNG?
Compressed natural gas.
So the conversion is what?
The conversion is you need to convert your vehicle that is running on petrol now
to CNG.
To CNG.
Power
and it
vehicles.
still get to a point that you still keep the cylinder, the tank, the petrol tank still intact, and then create another one, and you're going to have a switch. You switch to
so it's a
if
hybrid,
you don't have petrol,
a hybrid
you switch
arrangement.
to CNG. Yes.
But which one is
And it
better?
goes.
Which one is more
CNG is
economic
cheaper
friendly?
here.
Economic
Yes,
friendly.
this is safer now. We said if you put one tank of petrol, a tank on normally 70 liters or 50, 60 liters, depending on your tank's capacity.
Yeah.
How much are you buying that? That's about 70,000 naira. You use one tank to drive to Enugu,
and it's gone.
And it's gone.
In fact, you can't even drive to Enugu.
You can get to Enugu and come back, for example. It's gone. But if you buy one
70 liters of
a
gas.
CNG, yeah, it's measured in cubic meters. Yeah, cubic meters. Then and you get 1 cubic meters or 2 or 5, the same amount.
Yes.
You drive it for like 1 week to Enugu and come back, Enugu and come back, Enugu and come for 5 days.
And you have the equipment to do all of this.
Yeah, you have equipment. I said the governor money is yours. He gave us that. We use it for that equipment, and we got some more money.
Okay.
And it, we got.
But there are teething challenges with CNG. For instance, in places like Lagos, we hear of cases of explosion.
Yes.
I don't know if you are.
Is that about when they are doing it, installing
CNG is safer to drive
after they have converted,
that's
while the
what
vehicles are on the road.
That's what I said. Is safety is paramount. So if you take your car to Quacks to convert it for you, who is not licensed, he does not have, he wants to make the money alone.
Sure.
You know how our mechanic, all of us bought new cars, and where are the new cars today? Who spoiled them? He's a mechanic.
So far, have you done pilot conversions?
Pilot conversion.
If we walk into your place, can we see vehicles you've converted?
Yes, we have. We have.
But why don't you test run it with your vehicle? I mean, that's the most practical approach.
There's a vehicle my vehicle I'm converting, my 1000 series Peugeot, which I park in the house. That's the one I'm converting for personal use.
Okay. I'm chairman and the promoter of Ibom Metropolitan Polytechnic. We have very little time, about 10 minutes on our hands, and we still have our panelists.
Yes.
Looks like the bankers will now ask him whether he has accounts.
Account with Aqua.
We get to that in a moment.
Where's the man?
There's 3 of them. So I can't escape them. There are too many for you.
We brought 3 of them on your
my
panel.
people now.
Absolutely. Yes.
Tini,
you have a question for him? Do you have anything you want to say?
Yes.
Yeah, please.
I really love the inclusion of the CNG in the polytechnic aspect. But my question is, in the years to come, how would the BSc and HND come together? Because in this present country, Nigeria, I feel that an employer would take someone that has a BSc over someone that has HND. So in the coming years, what do you think, or what are the measures that are going to be put in place to make sure that BSc and HND are like of the same level?
I'm looking at it that the government has been, listening to that, and I think right now we have BSc, we equally have BTech, and we also have BNG. You have BED. So B science is the research and the designers, science. B-Tech should be the people that are involved in technology. So all could be just B-Tech, or that then a time might come that you don't even have that HND the way I see it. So it will move to B-Tech, because B-Tech is actually supposed to belong to the technologist.
Okay.
Right. So it's
Mr. Akwere Esen, do you have a question or a comment?
You've already asked a question.
Yes.
Ibo Metro is one big name in Aqua Savings. The students pay their fees in Aqua Savings.
Whoa. Whoa.
Wow. The technology, you should know Gabriel has been working with them to plug in their fee processing the platform to align with what Aqua Savings has for them to be able to pay their fees virtually.
Whoa.
And that has been a success. So Ibo Metro, we are doing business.
They even have a beautiful name for Ibo Metro.
Thank you for the package. Thank you for the package you sent to me December.
Oh yes.
I've never received package like that.
You also sent to
that will remain long in my, So thank you so much. Please extend that
to the MD and CEO.
We must commend him, for supporting an indigenous brand.
No,
in the midst of so many commercial banks, doing business with Aqua Savings.
Yeah, absolutely. No. There's no need to patronize him, but I can tell you, Engineer Dr. Victor E.U. Williams is a different Akwa Ibom man, and that's why he's even on the program. It's a different Akwa Ibom man, and we're very nice. Mrs. Ekwere, Ekwere, you have a question or a comment for him?
Yeah, Ibo Metro, like we like to call it, has been a big name in Aqua Savings and Loans, and just for the mortgage aspect of it, we've been doing business together just to make sure that the mortgage system is felt by Ibo Metro Polytechnic, and he can attest to that.
Absolutely.
So we're glad to have him.
Yeah, Mr. Brendan, I don't know, you still want to say? Mr. Sien already said that you're working together, so yeah.
Yeah, I just want to appreciate him so much. While working with the school, he gave us a very good platform, a very friendly atmosphere for us to be able to, technical things has a whole lot of back and forth in the process, but he was so accommodating and patient to allow us go through the process of integrating the school with our system.
Absolutely.
It's been a success. Thank you so much, sir.
Fantastic. Okay, we need to go. The translator will come back to you for 2-3 minutes. First, though, the chairman, the anchor of the program, and I would like to take our time and just thank a few of our supporters.
Yes.
Not him. Not him.
But it's a timeless supporter.
He knows. He's laughing. Okay, so we want to thank Oron Local Government Council. Thank you for supporting this program. We're going to be doing this for 29 days for Governor Umo Eno, and then on the last day, the 29th of May, we'll play host to the governor, complete with about 100 panelists and all of that. I can tell you that will be coming live from Government House to you. So Oron Local Government Council, Fortune School System, Fortune Group of Schools. Yeah, how do you always forget this?
Listing. Okay.
What is the problem with you?
Macrec.
Yes, Macrec. Thank you.
Trust. Yes.
Thank you. We also like to thank Hensec. Hensec has sent words that I would like to support the program. Akwa Ibom State University, did I mention that?
Yes, AXU.
Yes. We have and then there are many people. I hope that we are okay.
But we need to cut a little jingle that will be running close to the end of the show, so we don't miss
absolutely
the supporters.
We should do that, and we would like to continue to thank the Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of Housing.
Okay.
We'd like to thank the commissioners there for supporting this program, making sure it's on there, and of course the people who are collaborating with the Honorable Commissioner, Ministry of Information, the Honorable Ane Kanomana. Very nice. Okay. Translator Silvanos Akpan in Mvokem. Akpan. What did I say? Akpan. Silvanos Akpan. I even hate Akpan. Why did I say Akpan? Well, when you speak English, you want to do everything, you want to emphasize everything, which is bad. Okay, Silvanos Akpan.
Mani Dokoba. Memfeneridusu. I don't think Yamunamo, okay. It's all Ukanafun-Orok no PhD. I yogi back his name. Viene Sargo yogi back his name. Arena with the name of the young who sent it up Muzoki. I sent a widow Muzoki. Both things, you know, my nana, my bike, came out with Yen ira ikayong bam. Ini ada ifyong wet. Ilong ngbun good bora say wundu ilong godo do professor. Nama ta wo ma kang wet. Anong yem bun venediong sa irong odiong bo wo kara ken to si tere gidiong bo. Ndakar nam ebene anie phong wet. Kam tai jora diong ben dei bu metropolitan polytechnic edi. Edi tiemi ine ane men neben minyan. Ang dok ko fin nang anan te kana di rok. Ke na bo bem bo. Ndakay mo iben ni kinum gendu. Ufonom buni dong orang kori mo dia sa ngwaran du ya fon ke yuwem hanya nam no dia ngoken du ko na mari se toro yo ko ken ta karo nam mi bum metropolitan polytechnic ni tai mem de irong ake ne mbuni dong o fon we de do da ka ngoro tam fon isu mem fon ukbe mi so irong adai buru kar se ngi na ma kem ni bi gun tu o wa ibi ne ke ti ya eh begini hanya bensu ke kende memang cakap yang berpoliteknik datang abang hanya bio ke titi hari akari ayo nubang boleh diakari aduh kinu afere anu bore dan dah ada nama ibu metropolitan polytechnic yang mention sih berkendau bemgede tu nonsong itu bune cek semua bune jangan tenapte nonsong Indonesia nonsong bu ete ke awama ano de gine ete bre kai bat no nyemo kai dia ke kon sang sak nyau fu ngo ke mai bre kai bat de ki gong ya fu ngo abu ke membre ki ku ku ngwen mo do ke mi ro ba kai ngo we ya ku be ko nyen kwa ka chi yen anye bene ba sa do ki ko makaran ne ngwen ni ki wa kam bu kan ne ken sem ki ko ma do ma bang utong ko ke mensi ba ku be pom mo do ke polytechnic ni go yang wan ti ne fi ma nan de pen da ram po ku i jong we sai si ke kam ba wo rồi cũng phật ibu chưa cứ duy trì coi đi về cái buồn nọc của phật mê ibu rồi màn cái cỏ trái ibu rồi mà màn cái cỏ dài dài không nên là nhớ bún bọt chia được ukang cái này đùm ya mà đi mau nia cái phẳng uku bỏ ba na cả bởi vì cái năm cái cam mau phỏng về lại đi học cái university anh ni nang ba sang đi ibu metropolitan polytechnic cái ya rồi đặt phiền này sang cái world sang cái chỉ dem phẳng cái chỗ về đây phải mình đi ba cái này cái gì đó mình mới quên cái bằng vậy could CNG compressed natural gas bum siro ru phone bo ni le dia dia so ka tang ba anya video ke irong bo dai tang irong ba se tang nei so wa adun ti mo beauty ke compressed natural gas ado wo fa marai ke me ki ben kamang wan mu tu nya mana me muru akan butruk dia na mari ya ru wa za bo ko uto phone ke na ni wang nong noi wo yai fe ki ro ka yang mai dio ma yai san nau bo ba nang ba ro mau ka mau dia ki no bu ke này mi để ba đi mà đi cái đường metropolitan polytechnic abu cái gì cũng chơi ai siêu quạt apa yang asenang apa ke ma apa yang nada bukan ya apa.
Fantastic. What a fine moment to end it. We would like to thank Engineer Dr. Victor E.U. Williams, the promoter yes. of Ibom Metropolitan Polytechnic. Thank you for your timeless collaboration and partnership with Bush House Nigeria. But we also would like and you to be on the roll. And
he's collaborating more with Aqua Savings. So come and call my name.
This our collaboration with you, sir.
Yeah, so we like to get Ibom Metropolitan Polytechnic on the roll for partners of this series, but we'll talk about that. We'd like to thank you for having come. Thank you for being patriotic and for supporting indigenous brands.
Absolutely,
a beautiful example of tenacity in business. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
All right, so
I remember, director, give us 30 long seconds to discuss this. Oh, today is the day we start giving out 2 million naira.
Okay.
Yes. There's a prize.
Yes.
There's a prize we have instituted. 2 million naira. Yes. You'll be won. As a matter of fact, it's the governor that will present
checks.
Those prizes. The first person will be 1 million naira.
Yes.
The second is 600,000, and then the third 400,000. And what are they supposed to do?
Okay, so that you are to be a very avid and ardent follower of this program, because the question we expect you to answer won't come from the blues. You need to be very close follower of this program to be able to, to qualify to get into the competition.
Yes.
We'll expect you to write
in not more than 200 words.
In not more than 200 words.
Yes.
Telling us who you think had been your most outstanding.
Is that the first one? Let's get it exactly.
Yes,
okay,
exactly.
in not more than two. Okay, this is the Governor Umo Eno at 2 competition, and in not more than 200 words. A, Governor Umo Eno's unique selling point or points.
Yes.
And B, which one of the guests on Governor Umo Eno's at 2? 29 guests, 29 days, best captured that essence and why you think so.
Absolutely.
All entries must reach either bhnboss@gmail.com or AKBC Transmission Center in Taganyang on or before 6 p.m. on 24th May 2023. First prize 1 million, second prize 600,000, and third prize 400,000 naira. Remember, Governor Umo Eno is a live studio guest on the 29th.
I will be the one to present the prizes to the winners.
Absolutely. We even have, I think, the Professor Jimmy.
Yes, Professor Ukanafun-Orok Jimmy.
Yes, he's decided with us.
Yes, he has decided, to sponsor the prizes.
Absolutely, fantastic.
Right. Okay, so that's the size of the show today. We're back here on the other side of 22 hours. I'd like to thank everybody who joined us to make today's edition.
And tomorrow, the Professor Otip Jimmy is joining us from Canada.
Absolutely. Tomorrow is Sunday. He's joining us all the way from Canada. We have a few other callers who are also going to be joining us. One from Philippines, and then another from Houston.
Yes.
And
we're looking at Governor Umo Eno and Akwa Ibom in the eyes of Akwa Ibom people
in the diaspora.
In the diaspora.
Absolutely.
Okay. So fantastic.
So that's how it's been. We'd like to thank you for your time. We're back here, as I said, tomorrow by 4 p.m. Tomorrow is Sunday. Remember to go to church in the morning.
Yes.
And then join us by 4 o'clock. Bye-bye.
Good night from Uyo, Nigeria.
Over 200 units of compassionate homes, hundreds of kilometers of roads covering all local government areas, over 10,000 entrepreneurial equipment and tools to MSMEs, 5 billion naira worth of grants to farmers and traders, over 60 billion gratuity arrears to retired civil servants cleared, acquisition of brand new aircraft for Umo Air, advancement of work on Ibom Deep Seaport, donation of 150 units of 2-bedroom flats to 150 civil servants, advancement of work on Ibom Tropicana hotels and 5,000-seater international conference center, primary health care renaissance, launch of state health insurance scheme and quick response statewide ambulance services, establishment of the center for the elderly, construction of a 200-bed hospital within the state medical corridor. These and more are the huge strides of Governor Umo Eno in less than 2 years. They are realities because of your tax. Much more can be achieved if only you continue to pay your tax. Have you paid your tax? This message is courtesy McCrae Trust International Limited for the Akwa Ibom State Internal Revenue Service.